I mean, I've never admitted to something so sad in my life. But, but then this month I checked my bank statement and I was like, oh shit, it hasn't been cancelled. So I paid Nemesis for a second month of Tinder Premium. And he got a second date. So I hope your second date went well. And that's why I'll see him at the wedding. I believe, man. It's all for the greater good. I believe it's for a reason. I'm glad someone found true love on Tinder, finally. Thank you very much, Nemesis, for the $10. And thank you very much for the 2-month resub as well, guys, for some hearts towards Nemesis, please. He's a cool guy. Cool guy indeed. That actually puts us back up to 94 subscribers. Boom, guys, look at us. We're on a roll today. Look at us. 94 subs. Let's go. Come on, let's push it. 6 subs until 100. Come on, I believe in all of you. I believe that you can all do this. I believe we can make it together as a team. Guys, the bottom right hand side is going to be our yellow Protoss player. It is Neeb, representing Ting, of course. And to the top left is going to be our red Zerg player. It's viOLet from Envious, starting us off here on Apotheosis. This was Neeb's map pick as we set up into it. Guys, do throw some SGL hearts in the chat, please, with Nemesis for the sub, for the $10. Let's throw some love around in this chat. Let's spread the love. Spread that love. That's what we like to do, isn't it? We're very happy chat here. If you guys are new to the stream and haven't watched before, don't watch often, or don't really listen to me usually and don't pay attention, but now you are for some reason, we're usually a very happy chat. We have a lot of regulars and people like to chill and joke with each other and talk about StarCraft. We're a very happy chat compared to certain chats. Not pointing any chats out in particular, but we are rather a kind of pleasant chat. It stays pretty nice until the viewer count gets too high. As Neeb actually going to open with an expansion over on the gold base. viOLet's third base going to be on a gold. It's actually interesting because this gold doesn't immediately look like very easy to kind of hold or anything, but it actually isn't so bad because you've got those rocks, which you can kind of use somewhat to your advantage, although they can also be a nuisance as well. In fact, they're probably one of the things that make it harder to defend in some ways. But it's a ramp up here. If you can deny the kind of attacks on the low ground, then that's good. In PvZ, I don't think there's much other than kind of early Ling attacks, which are very good to kind of attack this. And those are kind of just denied by having good kind of SimCity. And so, yeah, just good SimCity. Obviously, wall on the main base, so they can't run up there if they run into the gold base as well. And I mean, obviously, roach attacks on this map, it's just too large a map for roach attacks to come across super quickly. So you have lots of time to prepare. And as we're going to be seeing the Twilight Council. Just about halfway done here from Neeb, looking to open, most likely with the Resonating Glaives pressure play in the early stages of this here. Going to be seeing the Overlord just going to sit overhead. So Overlord just going to sit overhead here. We're going to be seeing a couple of gates added on towards the third base too. And Neeb just setting up nicely. I mean, you saturated his gold base already. Starting to saturate his main now as well. Obviously, if you've got a gold base, you want to get that saturated ASAP. That extra boosting income is always going to be nicer if you get it as early as possible. As we'll see, a bunch of Zerglings going to start moving out onto the map. So, Lings will start moving out onto the map here from viOLet. Looking to see what they can get done. So, Lings moving out onto the map, coming across, and again, just seeing what they can get up to. Obviously, Probe's just sat on this mineral line right now, mining away. I'm just going to see a few Lings just collecting together over to the left-hand side. Some Lings collecting together over to the left-hand side here. We see a Mothership Core just sat overhead, and again, this is the point where maybe we see viOLet trying to be a bit aggressive. He runs into the natural and knows there isn't anything here, of course. Going to try and run up that ramp, but Adept's in position, and so far, so good from Neeb's point of view. Good defense up until now. Going to be seeing the Lings, again, just positioned over to the left-hand side. A few more Adepts just joining up over towards the third base. And there was 8 Adepts. We're going to start moving towards the upper left-hand side. Lings do actually break through at the front and towards the main. There's only 5 of them, so it's not many. But it's still a nuisance, especially if he loses that pylon. Because that pylon powers the Twilight Council. Oh, it's so close. That's so painful. The Twilight Council is going to be unpowered here. At the same time, Adepts have already gone across the map, but now they don't have Resonating Glaives. So actually, this is not going to be as good an attack as Neeb might think it is. And viOLet's going to push this back very easily. Those Adepts get absolutely nothing done. Complete shutdown by viOLet. as Neeb goes into a double Stargate follow-up. So going into double Stargate follow-up, also something spotted here by those Lingers if they clicked on those buildings, which they should have done. As we're going to be seeing the Lingers continue to come down. viOLet going to be running on in here, or trying to. I actually didn't realize this is a wall that's been set up here by Neeb, so I actually didn't realize that at all. That's pretty sick. So walling off up here. Going to be just having that in position to defend. Going to see a few more Adepts moving forwards here, and they will start to trade against some of these Zerglings as well. So that's a little bit of a better trade there. Glaive's now finished, of course, giving them Adepts the extra attack speed. And look at this, Bane Nest from viOLet, Hydralisk Den as well. I mean, Hydra Bane was first designed as a way to fight against double Stargate Phoenix Adept-based playstyles, and so he's just going to go into it here. And I really like this for viOLet. I feel as though it's the right choice. It's what you need to fight against double Stargate Phoenix, which can be very frustrating to play against as a Zerg, but you get a good amount of Hydras out. The Adepts clean up well on the ground very quickly, and that's important. The faster you clean up on the ground, the faster you're able to get them Hydras, just focusing on the Phoenix to really kind of make their en masse-ness kind of not really effective. Because obviously if the Phoenix are en masse, if the Hydras are having to fight against Adepts and so on, then fine, the Phoenix can lift up and they can do a lot of damage. But if the Phoenix are on their own, they die very quickly. So if you get rid of the Adepts very swiftly, then the Phoenix will all of a sudden find themselves not really being able to get much done at all. As we're going to be seeing the Ford Workers killed here, Neeb with a little bit of damage, keeping his Phoenix alive as well, which is important. He's continuing to now move around, looking for a little bit more damage here. Going to find an Overlord off over to the left-hand side. As Phoenix going to be moving up in towards that main base. So into the main base we go, and well, a few Hydras in position there. The Phoenix thinking about using them. A couple more Phoenix moving in towards that upper left side right now. So a couple more Phoenix up towards the top left. And again, creep spread just moving forwards from viOLet. A little bit of time here. +2 melee currently on the way for him. And Muscular augments Baneland speed as well. All those upgrades he needs to make his Hydra Baneland composition as effective as he wants it to be. Neeb not paying attention there though. He's going to lose 1-2 Phoenix right now. And that's a little bit of a mistake from him, as viOLet definitely still looking very good in game number 1 of this series. Do remember that it's not be-all and end-all this series though. Yes, it'd be nice to finish in first place in your group, but both these players are already confirmed to place in the quarterfinals. This is just to see who finishes first and who finishes second. That being said, even finishing first might not be too nice of a situation, because if you finish first place, you might actually end up against Bjorn, who ended up in second place in his group a few days ago, after losing out to True. That was Group A, and actually we're going to have the VODs of those matches starting to go up on the YouTube channel over the next week or so. We'll actually upload every single series from the SGL Cup 3 because it's just such a good tournament. So over the next week, we're uploading WCS qualifiers over the next 2 or 3 days. I believe on Sunday the SGL VODs will start going up on the YouTube channel. As we're going to see Baneland starting to morph in, and here we go. Aggression is getting ready to go from viOLet. He's set and ready to go into this, and here it is. Is Neeb going to have enough? As we see him actually breaking out of his wall, he sees how many units are over here. I mean, it just hasn't been a great start to the game from him. There's been a lot of mistakes before now. As we see the force fields coming through, and they do connect. The Banelands, that is, they actually find a couple of gaps, and so they do begin to connect. The Phoenix start to lift up a few Hydras where possible. Disruptor shot comes in to push that away. Actually, Disruptor's one of the units which might very well make a big difference, and this is a big connection in the back. A lot of Ravagers going down. Phoenix are lifting up units still. Overcharges being popped here as Neeb begins to make a bit of a hold. He loses 7 workers, but he is defending. He is defending, and that's what's important right now. He lifts up another Hydra. Phoenix still in the skies, although they need more energy. As we see Pylon and Gateway going down over here, and Oracle coming forwards. Another Disruptor too. What can he get done with this? He's going to lose his third base. He blows up, keeps the Disruptor alive a little while longer. Another Disruptor comes in. He sends that just on top of those Zerglings once again. Phoenix having energy now, lifting up another Ravager. Neeb is starting to defend this though, and that is really, really huge here. Nice Adepts walling off to minimize the amount of Banelands which make it through into this base. The Disruptor is going to survive as well. 9 more workers going down though. Neeb still not a pretty position, but this was a lot closer than I ever thought it was going to be. That Disruptor hit was so huge in the center. It changed so much. We'll see another Disruptor shot just trying to help out, clean out a few more of these Zerglings. A few more Adepts warping in, trying to keep protected. He's going to lose another Disruptor though, and that is expensive at this point. As Neeb down 40 supply, down 35 in worker count. His army supply actually fairly even, but he's also down a base now, losing that gold. Again, it wasn't a good start to this game from Neeb. It hasn't been a good follow-up either. And now we see, well, Ling's moving forwards here. Depths looking to keep on fighting. And, well, actually, against just the Lings, this army is not going to do too badly. Neeb begins to expand down to the bottom left-hand side. viOLet has so much money in the bank, but he doesn't spend it on Hydras like I thought he would. He builds one accidental Swarm Host there. 9 Corruptors on the way to help out against a few Phoenix in the sky, although I don't know if that's really a necessity. He does have Hive, though, and he is most likely, I guess, going to be dropping a Great Aspire soon, hence the Corruptors, although that's Great Aspire not here just yet. As we're going to be seeing the Phoenix moving in towards the main. 7 drones killed. I mean, Neeb just on the hunt to get some counter damage done. I'm not sure about the Corruptors. I'm really not, because I just don't see what they're going to do apart from kill these Phoenix. And at this point, I don't even really feel as though the Phoenix are that useful anyways. Like, I feel as though they've passed their sort of due date. You know, they've passed the point in the game where they're going to be at their most useful, at least. You'll see Disruptors starting to move forwards with some shots. Adepts will protect once again. Neeb is looking to hold this fresh base. I mean, the base count is going to be fairly even here. I mean, it's going to be like 3 against 4 almost, because this gold base here is going to be mining out from both players, essentially. So, this base here wasn't so bad. I mean, how many bills was left on it? I can't actually see because we don't have vision, but it's not a lot. So, Neeb doesn't miss out on too much mining there, which is nice. You can see Banelin's morphing in once again. So, Banelin's going to morph in once more here. Neeb is trailing in this game, but it's not over yet. There's that Great Aspire. That's what we've been expecting to see. That's what we've been waiting for almost. As to kind of just confirm why there's Corruptors coming onto the map. As we're going to be seeing a couple of Stalkers warping in. A couple of Void Rays actually also going to be able to come out as well. Corruptors will sort of cast 6 grade down, but that means the Phoenix could come back in and fight themselves. I mean, he could just fight. He needs to fight with everything he's got to kill off as many of these Corruptors as possible to make this effective. He's going to lose the base. As the Phoenix now will start being picked away at by these Corruptors. And he's just going to tie about GG there. There's also a slight run by into his Nafrids. And without the glaives, it did hurt Neeb quite a lot there, I think. As we go into game number 2, down a game. To the top left-hand side of the map, representing Ting. Let's hear it, guys, if you're cheering on Neeb. As we have down to the bottom left corner, from Envious, it'll be our red Zerg player, viOLet. Corruptors were a genius player. Yeah, actually, I mean, they worked out, and if you're going to go Broodlords in the end as well, then it's quite nice. I didn't really think about him just moving across the map and caustic spraying. I didn't think about the fact that Neeb just didn't have that much kind of good anti-air against Corruptors. So it did work out quite nice. I feel as though Neeb maybe could have stopped it, though, at least killed a lot more of them. Because he did kind of move away with the Phoenix for a long time, while the Corruptors were caustic spraying, so he could have actually got a lot more damage onto them. And you never know when kind of just killing off a couple more suddenly is enough to slow it down to actually just save that Nexus. So, maybe a slight mistake there. But either way, I think Neeb was behind, and it was a long shot to win that one anyways. So let's see if he can pull himself back into this now. Game 2, Neeb's opportunity to tie things up, viOLet's opportunity to finish first place in this group. Elite workers will scout around the map, or overlords of course if you're a Zerg player. Very rarely do you see a drone scout in the ZVP. Pretty much never. Who's going to be playing in Top Dogs today? It's going to be Marine Lord versus Soul Spirit, DNS versus Daishi, Petit Drogo versus... and I've forgotten. I did well though, that was more than I thought I'd remember. Petit Drogo versus Clem, and it'll be Uzi Koti against Shutdown. So 4 best of 5s, that'll be coming up from 7 PM CEST. As we end up this Overlord spotting the expansion here early, nothing too crazy about that. Frost, a map where Stargate plays a possibility, Resonating Glaives plays a possibility. It's the map where actually you can go either or with relative success most of the time. So see how this turns out. Let's see what it's really going to turn into as Probe from Neeb just spots across the map there, running across, spots the third archery down, and then backs away. Twilight Council starts up as well right now from Neeb. So Twilight Council also coming in. It's going to be, well, it's about 25% of the way done right now. So Twilight Council about 25% of the way done. Overlord scouting into the main base from viOLet is not going to spot that Twilight because it's all the way at the top. So no information here from viOLet. And that's actually an early Overlord to end up losing. It's going to be difficult for him to scout now because he has his next Overlord is actually all the way down here. So really kind of unfortunate to lose that one so early without confirming the Twilight. Let's see if it's going to be a major issue for him. As we do see that Resonating Glaive starting up. So choosing the Glaives build order, it's a safe one. You can take a third base with it. You can turn it into a lot of aggression as well if you want as well. I mean, it's aggressive anyways, but you can also go kind of 5 gates, 6 gates, 7 gates if you really want to play all in. If you really want to just get this over and done with. So lots of possibilities here. I feel as though Neeb's not going to throw that in this time around though. I feel as though he's just going to go for the third Nexus. He's down a game. Why take the risk unless he doesn't really care about kind of playing this here? Why take the risk, you know? Just play it out macro, I think, instead of just relying on your opponent to be, you know, unaware. I mean, it's always nice to throw all-ins in. It's always nice to throw them in unexpectedly, you know, when your opponent doesn't expect them to kind of be, you know, catching you a bit more off guard than usual. But when you're a game down and you're maybe feeling good in your macro game and just didn't get the chance to show it in the last game, I think it's safe to just say that you should just play the macro game instead. These Adepts cleaned up nicely at the front. A little bit of hull damage taken on one of the Adepts. Nothing too ridiculous though. Rotoran is building here from viOLet in the natural expansion, so Rotoran is going to be finishing. What's going on? Some more Zerglings just continue to come out. That link speed is just about halfway done now. Resonating Glaive is going to be finishing very shortly as well. And Neeb just moving into that third Nexus, so getting ready to go across the map with his Adepts. There's 5 and there it goes up to 8. Very standard sort of setup here as those 8 Adepts begin to shade forwards. And across the map we go. 8 Adepts looking to see what they can get up to. So 8 Adepts around the left hand side actually so far. viOLet not seeing these, Slash has seen them and just doesn't want to kind of commit against them, or I don't know, I feel as though he hasn't seen them because he's got absolutely nothing in position to defend here. As Neeb comes into the third base, he's going to get himself a queen kill. Going to commit for that, and actually Roaches coming in, but only 4 of them. These Adepts kite over to the left side, so they'll just pick off Roaches very efficiently here. And then actually start to back away as he shades in towards the natural. Lots of lings across the map though. This is an aggressive attack from viOLet. He cut drones a while ago to go into Massling Roach. Although that's maybe going to come back to bite him because he's committing so many units. But right now he's taking a lot of damage as well. His third Nexus, all Neeb will go down. So that's something Neeb will have to cancel. As these Adepts are going to shade in towards the main base. Continue to get more damage done. Hunting for drones. 7 workers killed so far and still rising. But the Adept count getting lower and lower. So is that worker count too. Now 30, 29 workers to the 49. viOLet's counterattack here has to do a lot of damage. If it doesn't do a lot of damage, he's going to find himself in a lot of trouble going on in this game. But his army supply looks good. 42 to 12, and Neeb currently investing into 2 Phoenix at a time. Well, that is not a very good situation, of course. Phoenix are not the sort of unit you want to kind of deal with this en masse spam of units coming across the map. Overcharge gets popped on the high ground. viOLet will fight in this for now. He wants to get rid of those Adepts. One Adept gets lifted to keep it safe. Another one too. Cute little play with the Phoenix there. The Lings will now go in towards the natural expansion. One Adept coming back around. Those Adepts once more now on their own. The Phoenix have used their lifts. Here come the Roaches. Overcharge still available. One Overcharge available. Pops it on the pylon in the back. As we'll see, viOLet just kind of dance it in and out, trying to minimize damage taken. Gets rid of the pylon at the front here. Will come over to the right-hand side. We'll try maybe to get rid of the third base. Neeb defends well so far, though. Continuing to defend nicely. As we're going to be seeing those Roaches moving in and still just targeting down a couple of these pylons here. One pylon falls, the other under damage, or taking damage right now as well. And that next pylon goes down too. More Adepts coming in, pushing those Roaches away off to the right-hand side. I think it's going to be picking off an Overlord there, and, well, Neeb is actually going to defend here quite nicely, I think. He's going to get rid of these Roaches. He's going to trade very well. The damage he did across the map before this puts him into a worker lead already, and as Phoenix come across, it's going to make it difficult. It's continued pressure. It'll make it difficult for viOLet to realistically catch up in the worker count. We're going to see the Lings coming in once more. Adepts getting surrounded there for a few moments, but continue to trade. The Lings do end up dying pretty swiftly. A couple of drones going down across the map. There's Phoenix coming into play. And actually now starting to pick off Overlords. A Queen out in the middle of nowhere as well. This is just Neeb getting so much damage done. Another big attack across the map from viOLet. It's kind of his last-ditched attempt here to make something happen. Void Ray being made by Neeb, just saying, well, you know what, I can see that you're kind of really committed to just attacking me, so I'm just going to make as many defensive units as I can. Overcharge will come in on that pylon to the left-hand side. Adepts, well, their numbers are starting to lower here a little bit as the Overcharge just trying to pick away at those Roaches. Neeb might actually have to pull back his Phoenix here just to do a few lifts, just to get rid of a few of these units. We see a few more Lings in the front starting to go down. Mothership Core, how much energy is on it? 38, so very close to one more Overcharge here. And the Void Ray is on the way as well to help out. You see those Phoenix still moving forward, still doing damage. Just going to lift up another Queen. Again, it's just damage which is just going to keep on adding in, and viOLet eventually just cannot deal with all of it. It's just going to end up too far behind. Voidray comes in, the first one now, targets down a roach. The queens are stuck, so they can't actually get towards the Voidrays to help out. And you can see those roaches dropping very quickly. Still targeting the roaches instead of the queens. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there by Neeb. Now he turns to fight, gets rid of one queen, and viOLet misses the transfuse. I mean, some workers are going down, but Neeb knows for a fact that he just is far enough ahead to lose a few workers and not worry too much about it. Another queen goes down. I mean, he also knows he's got so much energy now on these Phoenix. They can lift up endless amount of drones, and viOLet will GG out. We're going to game number 3. What a day of games. Game number 3 here. Let's go back and focus for now on the SGL Group C. Don't forget though, if you're a little bit sad that the SGL is looking to be over very soon, we'll be back tomorrow with SGL Group D. Harstom takes on a mass of Terran players. He plays against Massa, Kellezer, and Pult. Very, very exciting indeed, as we have to the top left side of the map, the Red Zerg player from Envious. Let's hear it if you're cheering on viOLet. If you're cheering on our Yellow Pros player down to the bottom right hand side, then let it be known in the chat that you are a fan of Ting Neeb. It's kind of funny, both of these players. I mean, I think Neeb probably is the big fan favorite, but viOLet is a heavy fan favorite as well. So, some very popular players here today. And of course, all of these rematches, if you missed any of them, will go up on the YouTube channel probably in about a week's time. Again, just because I don't like uploading like 10 videos in a day. And just because we've been so far behind because we've had so many great games this month, it's been worth uploading every single series. So, we are just kind of putting 2 or 3 videos up a day. Right now, the WCS qualifiers are going up on there, so you can go check those out, coverage from those over the last few days, for example. And stuff like that as we see this probe. Just backing away, drone giving chase. Drone is giving chase, and will become a hatchery down on the low ground. Initially, Neeb was blocking that, which is why the first hatchery came down over on the 3rd base, so just a little bit of a hectic start there, some drone blocking and whatever else. So we'll be seeing that probe from Neeb just heading down towards the bottom right. So heading down towards the bottom right here, looking to see what he can set up into. As we'll see Gateway starting to Corona Boost. And we'll see a first Adept on the way. Still waiting for that tech to start up though from Neeb. As he gets up towards 100 or so gas now, I'm sure we'll begin to see that. Unless he builds a Mothership Core first. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. Warp Gate started. There we go though. Twilight Council coming down. So Resonating Glaives as the build order once again here in the very early stages. Adept going to start shading towards the upper left hand side. You can see what exactly it can get up to. So there's Adept heading towards the top left. Twilight going to be finishing up shortly. As Neeb comes in and just going to start doing a little bit of damage here. One drone is taken down, but then Adept actually getting caught there. So nice little surround by viOLet. One drone for one Adept, not the best, not the worst. I mean, at least he didn't lose the Adept for nothing, I guess is the kind of the positive outlook of this from Neeb's point of view. Overlord scouts in here from viOLet very early on, sees the gateway. Does he see? I mean, he knows there's a pylon there. He actually sees the Twilight Council anyways, so sees the Twilight, sees the other gate, and that's all the information he really needs at this point. Don't know if he'll kind of continue flying through for any reason. Maybe he just wants to make sure there's nothing else here. But yeah, I think it's probably safe for him to back away and just try and keep this Overlord alive. If you can keep it alive, it's one less Overlord you have to rebuild, which is always nice. We'll start to be poked away by the Stalker, and sometimes that's just why it's nice to just commit it in, because if it's going to die anyway, you may as well just see as much as possible. Someone wanting the YouTube, there you go, there's the link. I don't know why I don't have the YouTube link as actually as an exclamation mark YouTube command as well. That's a bit dumb of me. Apologies. Rotron building from viOLet. So Rotron coming up over here. A few extra drones being added on as well. Nothing too crazy right now. I'm just going to be seeing Resonating Glaives. We'll be finishing in just a few moments. So as we wait to see those Adepts across the map, thank you very much, Set Guitars to Kill, for the $10 donation. I'll read out your message and so on after this game, once I can put a bit more time and attention to it, the time and attention it deserves. Very, very much though. I appreciate it, as we do have those roaches. They're not roaches, they're adepts. Those adepts collect together, and across the map they go. But viOLet's already been making roaches, so he is going to have roaches already out to try and help defend against this. So this is looking pretty decent for him here. 10 Zerglings going to be finishing up. Yeah, he's going to have plenty. A few more adepts joining into the fray, so 9 adepts going to go across the map. Double Stargate again by Neeb. He likes this. He likes this double Stargate play, so he's going to go for it once more here. He's going to see him. Well, he's not going to fight straight away. He will just threaten to shade past, which will force the roaches to pull away. The adepts are actually going to commit. Wow, okay, so they commit over to this left side. Obviously confident that they can kind of trade here quite nicely. And well, he doesn't lose an adept, and he does kill off some Zerglings. So, worthwhile trade, I suppose, as we see the Lings going to keep on chasing. This time the adepts will not commit over there. He does actually find a few Ravages morphing in over to this side. Doesn't quite get the cancel on any of them, though. Shading back a little bit late as well. And this time the Ravages are going to get some good connections. The Biles decimating those adepts. 2 of them escape, but it's a very good trade here from viOLet. There's a good shutdown, finally, of Neeb's pressure. That being said, viOLet has had to stop making workers, and well, it looks as though he's going to use that to his advantage by just coming in for a big counter-attack here. So here we go, viOLet, a very aggressive attack coming in with a lot of units doubling the army supply and more of his opponent right now. He'll start to push on through. There's the first overcharge coming down. A couple of Crossbows dropping on a Warping and Adept. Smart choice. I like that Neeb doesn't actually use the overcharges on these pylons here, knowing that they're just way too easy to pick off. And just kind of being very conservative with those. Neeb, defend this, and he's going to be in a very good position, but it doesn't look too hopeful just yet. He has, though, got that double Stargate, which means he can get a couple of Void Rays going. So eventually he will push this away, albeit not immediately. He will eventually push this back. Prismatic Alignment popped, targets down the Roaches so that the Prismatic Alignment actually has some advantage. I'm just going to be seeing now the Ravagers under fire from them Void Rays as well. Again, eventually he deals with this, he cleans this up. Question is, how much damage does he take before then? That overcharge is starting to clean up a lot of these units here. Corrosive Bow comes down, actually hitting maybe more Zerglings rather than any Protoss units. Overcharge still holding at the front. Probes will pull in. Void Ray is still trying to help, but the Ling count is just not that high anymore. A couple workers going down, but that'll be about it. viOLet gets cleaned up. He's droned up behind. There's 59 drones to the 50 probes. But Neeb has defended, and it's a big commitment from viOLet to go for that attack there. Neeb will just re-expand. He's actually up to a few Void Rays, which are very powerful in this, guys. And now going into double Stargate Phoenix as well. I mean, got the double Stargate down, but now going into 2 Phoenix at a time as well. So 2 Phoenix coming up at a time here. The Protoss air weapons is being added on by Neeb also. So going into his +1 air weapons. And again, Void's just sitting overhead. That pylon here just sat around. And the Voids do begin to split up. So Void's splitting up right now. Roaches from viOLet are going to be pulling up towards this upper left-hand side, collecting together for themselves. A few more Hydras on the way out. We see Roach speed just over halfway done. Again, that third Nexus coming back up. Neeb, he survived. His worker count is good. His third Nexus is on the way back. And his army supply may be down a little bit. But I don't think this is game over, not just yet. He actually has Void Rays hunting down Overlords, which is fantastic, of course. Any damage he can get done is good damage. Here we go. Attacks on to come forward. There's only 1 force field available. As the Hydras start to do a bit of damage to that first Void Ray. What does Neeb have? Does he have enough? He comes in, he starts lifting the Hydras with the Phoenix. The Void Rays will begin to fight. Corrosive Biles, that's what Neeb has to dodge away from, of course. Queen's coming across the map too. It's going to be good, of course, to help him defend this, as this is it. Neeb, once again, just has to try and defend this aggressive attack from viOLet. And the question is, does he have enough to do that? Void Rays right now working their way through the Roaches very, very quickly. The Roaches are going down very swiftly indeed. Phoenix in the sky still under heavy fire from those Queens. And in fact, at the end of the day, it might be the Queens, the one thing that Neeb really struggles to fight against here. Another Void Ray, another Phoenix being built behind this. As we see him, I mean, he's definitely going to lose this base again. I mean, it's just an issue. There's so many Queens here doing so much damage to the Phoenix, to the Void Rays. I think the Queens are probably going to save the day. And that is going to be GG right there. It was a good hold from Neeb initially.